I think we lost.
Well, I'm sure we lost the connection there. I hope that when we re-establish connection, we should be able to get answer to that question. Because, guys, the thing here is they have always said it will be sorted out, that they will fashion a way out of this. And, well, we've always heard them say it will be resolved and we'll be moving on and on. Perhaps he must have seen, well, something that most members or Nigerians haven't actually seen to know that this will be resolved. This is one important thing that Nigerians are saying, look, wait a minute, APC is not Nigeria, and for the members in that house, in the National Assembly, they must move forward and go ahead with the business of lawmaking and oversight. Well, he says he's optimistic that it will be resolved, and he did mention again the president. Now, this is another way of pulling the president into it. When he does come back, he should be able to also let us in on why he believes the president should come in and why he must speak on this particular matter that he's continuously said he's going to stay off.
About the president coming in, remember, Galbashew has always said that, look, the governors have said they will handle this. And the president can't come in as of yet until the governors say, okay, well, we've had it. Then, Mr. President, you can then come in. So who knows if that could change just like that or not.
The other side of it is, I mean, a lot of people will be wondering, and I wonder as well, why those in the National Assembly can't sit down and sort this thing out amongst themselves. There was a statement he made then, I was going to ask him, I'm hoping that when he comes back, we'll ask him the same question, implying that the Speaker wanted to bring in some people. He said there are some people the Speaker wants to bring in. So is he implying that the Speaker wanted... Yeah, is he implying that the Speaker wants to bring in people from other political parties? Because, you know, he kept saying, we are the majority. And we have the larger numbers, so
it would be nice for him
he would have to explain exactly what he meant by that, because
that suggests bringing in people from another political party.
Is that what the Speaker wants to do? I doubt that. And that issue of, you know, there was a time we were having that conversation. The last time we discussed this matter, we talked about the issue of federal character. Is that being looked at as well? You know,
on the floor of the House.
Hold on. The Speaker said something about. It's certain in the papers over the weekend, the Speaker was quoted as saying that he did not follow with the letter of the APC because there was a segment, a region that was being sidelined, and he wanted to ensure that every region was properly represented. So are they also considering the fact that the Speaker wants to look at that side and ensure that every region is properly represented without necessarily leaving the party? These are things that I'm hoping that...
It's actually getting interesting by the day. Moving forward, I also want to ask if the party will also be able to put a list together of ministerial nominees for the president. If we talk about party supremacy, let's see, going forward, if they also would put a list together and say, Mr. President, these are the people we want, and also allot portfolios to them. Because we're going to see another form of politics now. The dynamism that the APC leadership is bringing to the fore is new to most Nigerians, so questions are bound to be asked, and we must also get answers to all of them. And looking at the headlines about what the PDP has said concerning some aids, it would mean that now the PDP is... well, getting its mojo on. They have learned the opposition tricks and traits, and they are doing it pretty well. And
already, lots of people are already commenting on Twitter. You know how that happens so quickly when some of these matters pop up. Yeah, you know, speaking about whether or not and how they're going to reconcile, we've got Kamaruddin who was talking. He says, well, if the party goes ahead and sanctions the Speaker and the Senate President, it will make the crisis is this deepen? Well, I think that's what it means here. But Kingsley says, no, Hamid says, I'm not seeing this right. Okay, all right. We've got Julius who also says, Saraki and Dugara need to be called to order. Individuals should not be bigger than the party. And then you have Muiwa who also says, no, the party is interfering in the functions of the party. Well, let's get back to Honorable Sani Dara, joining us from our studios in Abuja. Well, you're going to respond to Sala's question, Honorable.
I'm afraid, I'm sure you didn't get my question before we lost connection with you there. Very quickly, I'll go back to the question again. The thing is, there must be something that you have seen that most Nigerians haven't seen to give you that belief that this will be sorted out. And you also made mention of the president perhaps coming into this whole, coming into the fray. Tell us what you think that we can't see to give you that assurance that it will surely be sorted out as they resume or before they resume.
Nigerians voted for change, like I said earlier, and we are trying to provide that change. And in order to get to that change, we need to overcome the obstacle that is now in front of us. We can't sit and keep our positions as we are, then nothing will go, nothing will move. So with the help of the president, the party leaders, the governors, and everybody else, we need to put all hands on deck to resolve an issue that shouldn't have degenerated to such an extent in the first place.
Honorable Dara, there was a statement you made earlier when you started out. You said the speaker was looking at bringing in some other people. Are you implying that he wanted to look outside of the party for the principal officers?
No, the speaker cannot look outside the party for the principal officers of the majority caucus. He has to choose from the APC members in the House of Representatives. What we are saying is the elections for the speakership have been and gone. He is now the speaker. We, as the caucus of the APC in the House of Representatives, now see that Femi Gbajabiamila and Tahir Mongunu are still capable of running the affairs or leading the House caucus as the principal officers in the House, that is, as the majority leader, as the chief whip, and the other positions that need to be taken over by members, so that at least he would have a team of principal officers.
But is these two names you've mentioned, is it an agreement amongst all members of the APC caucus that these two men should be the principal officers? Or is it something that's being pushed down the throat, so to speak, of the caucus from the party leadership?
With all due respect, that would be a bit putting it like we are being teleguided as to what we do by the party. This is a decision by the majority loyal members of the APC caucus in the House of Representatives, that since those that we had envisaged or put forward for the principal positions, everybody knows it is God's will, they didn't make it. We still believe that they are capable of pushing through the government's agenda through the House of Representatives by leading it. That is basically what it is.
Well, please, could you just go back a little bit? You said those that you decided and put forward. Was it a choice? Then why are you insisting that the letter be read? If all of you can together decide on these two as being your principals, why do you need the letter from the APC read on the floor?
So as everybody is in the picture, it's a communication to this. I'm sorry, but I think the audio is gone, so I didn't quite hear what you said.
The letter from your party is to the APC caucus, not to all the members of the House of Representatives, which is a mix of different political parties. So why must that letter be read on the floor and not in your caucus meeting?
Well, basically, this letter was transmitted to the Speaker. And now, the Speaker can either sit and read this letter to us as in plenary, so that all members will hear, regardless of which party you are. You simply know that this is a communication from the APC to members of the APC caucus. There's nothing wrong with reading the letter in the chamber. And I might also add, the Speaker, since becoming Speaker, has not called a meeting of the APC caucus of the House.
All right, let me bring in this perspective, because many would have thought that this division is just within, well, members in the Assembly. But members in the party leadership are also speaking up. Take, for instance, the Deputy National Publicity Secretary of the APC, Mr. Timmy Frank. He's been talking to the press a lot these days. Let me just read some of what he said, which is out there in the public. He's saying that the party cannot use or hide under the guise of the NWC writing a letter to the National Assembly of Speaker and the Senate President saying that they should nominate certain persons, because that doesn't happen to the President. You don't give them the names of ministers and attaching portfolios. It doesn't happen to the governors. So why should we do that to the National Assembly members? He says that's unacceptable. It's not justified, not tenable, he says.
Well, those positions are positions of the party through the APC caucus in the House of Representatives. With all due respect to Mr. Timmy Frank, he's a party leader, but at the same time, you cannot compare the leadership of the House with the President and his ministers. On the one hand, you have the principal officers in the House of Representatives are not aides of the Speaker. They are partners with him to run the affairs of the House, whereas the ministers are appointed by the President in order for, he's basically delegating his powers to them. I think there's no comparison there. You cannot compare the two things.
So for you, what would be the solution to this impasse?
For me, the solution would be, and I'm saying this with all sense of sincerity, right? The position of the party should be sustained by the Speaker, right? Because that position is the position of the majority members of his party, the APC caucus, in the House of Representatives. He is already Speaker. Right Honorable Asun Yusuf Suleiman is the Deputy Speaker. They have the two positions. And they are from the, let's say, the other group that went against the party position. So in this case, it is even in their interest for them to bring in those from the other side who are their natural partners. They are their brothers in this setup in the APC. They are the ones that would work with them, come rain, come shine, through thick and thin. But yes, of course, it's always it's right to agree to disagree, even within the family. But we must also see what is right in the interest of justice and equity. That is all we're saying, and this is the position we are holding. The party's position should reign supreme.
Breaking it down, you're saying, give or take, the first group has already taken. Now is the time for the other group to compromise.
Exactly.
All right, Honorable Sani Daura, thank you very much indeed for talking to us today.
Thank you for having me.
All right, and we'll be back. We've got another perspective on this same matter. Don't go away.